This year I read a lot of books, but 4 of these books really resonated with me. They massively inspired me. Hey you beautiful people, welcome back to a new video on our channel Read Travel Become. In this video I am going to share those 4 books which inspired me. Now what do I mean by inspiration? By inspiration I mean those books which made me think about the world in a different way. They challenged my belief systems. They were not at all generic self-help books which were telling me to do the same things again and again. These 4 books are from different domains. They are not from one particular domain of self-help. So I'm going to share all about these books in this particular video. It's going to be a very interesting video. All of these books are fresh recommendations and also they are very readable. They are very easy to read. All of these books have presented ideas to where I felt that I haven't read these kind of ideas before and they really struck with me. They really expanded my thinking capacity. You would know what I'm saying when you watch the entire video. So make sure you watch the video till the end. You may never know which thought or fact may resonate with you and change the course of your life. So let's get started. Okay, so the first book in this list is a book which I recently completed. It took me a lot of time because it's not meant to be read in one go. The book is Brené Brown's book, Atlas of the Heart. So now this book is a little different. It's not one of those books where you sit and read and just get through with it. This book happens to be an immersive experience. Now let me tell you what the book is about. So everybody has human emotions. We all know human emotions exist, but we don't really know how to label these emotions. Whenever your friend asks you, what are you feeling like? You just have 2 responses generally, that you're feeling good or you're feeling bad. You can't exactly label what kind of emotions are you feeling. This book is all about that. She talks about how cartographers use maps to look at directions and go to places. In a similar way, we can have a palette of emotions and can decide what is the atlas of our heart, how you can navigate all the emotions in your mind, which is a very refreshing take. And she has beautifully divided this book into many chapters. Let me read out the chapters for you. Places we go when things are uncertain. So when things are uncertain, you experience emotions like stress, overthinking, anxiety, avoidance, dread, fear, vulnerability. So there are 13 umbrella terms like this, and under these terms you have many emotions. Now why is it important to understand what emotions are you feeling? It does not give power to the emotion, but you exactly understand what feeling are you expressing, and then you can take a concrete step to tackle that emotion. So it's an immersive experience. She has given out a lot of beautiful diagrams. There is a big text, languages and codes on many pages. It's a big book, almost like an encyclopedia kind of a thing, but very easy to read. Highly recommended. The visuals are really good. It's very beautiful. It's a well crafted. I can see that this book is a labor of love when Brené Brown has written about this book. She had previously written Daring Greatly, which is all about how being vulnerable is actually a superpower, but now she has expanded her horizon and talked about literally all of the emotions human beings can experience. The next book in the list is actually a fiction book, and I feel this is one of the greatest and the grandest science fiction novel I have ever read. I revisited this book. The book is The Dark Forest, which is the second installment in the 3 body problem series. I have talked about this series before. It's such a grand book, and I'm talking especially about the second book. I haven't yet read the third book. I read the first book, but the second book is too grand. Like the concepts which are talked about in this book in a science fiction way, I think it's the greatest space opera that I've ever read. The concepts are so human and so collective on a global scale. You are terrified when you're reading a book. You're terrified about what happens next and what is going to happen and how humanity is planning. So let me tell you something about the book. The book is actually a solution to the Fermi paradox. The Fermi paradox talks about the universe is so big, it's huge, and if it's so huge, then there should be life out there, right? But we have not communicated with any alien or extraterrestrial life yet. So this is the Fermi paradox, and actually the term dark forest is the solution to the Fermi paradox. Now it sounds sciencey, but it's a very human story. Basically in the book, people on the earth know that there is going to be an alien invasion in 400 years and 4 centuries, and now they have to plan an attack. The aliens have their agents on the earth. People on earth now try to unify how do we plan this attack. It's mostly like there's a global conversation about how different humans come together to face a threat, and it's on the grandest scale possible. It has got all of the pop culture references. So okay, I'll stop boasting about this book and I'll stop ravaging about this book. I've recently finished it again. That's why I'm so excited talking about this book. But yeah, you should definitely read the 3 body problem series and let me know if you have read. There's so much to discuss, right? So yeah, that's the second recommendation. Okay, the third book in the list list is a book which I recommended previously. It's called Into the Magic Shop. This book is a very good read in terms of the feel good factor. If you want to feel good about your life, if you want to know how you go about difficult situations, this book is definitely for you. In this, there is a top neurosurgeon. He has found out some concepts about how he can tackle his human emotions, because when he's treating these extreme cases of neuroscience, especially of babies, of little children, he needs to cool down his nerves. And how does he do it? He has some principles around it which he had learned when he was a child. He used to go to this magic shop where there was a character called Ruth, and she used to teach him all of these techniques of spirituality, techniques of how to calm yourself down, and many such different spiritual enlightenment things. So if you are into these kind of things, definitely read this book. This book has taught me to stay calm, to remain calm, to hold your nerves in many different situations, and how to do that. How breathing is very important. How do you breathe through your nose and not through your mouth, and how in general the whole concept of mental well-being comes into play by doing little things on a daily basis. It does not sound preachy in any way. Sometimes it might get preachy, but again, it's a very important read, I feel, because it's coming straight from the horse's mouth. The writer is practicing all of these things, which really resonated with me. So yeah, you can definitely pick up this book if you are interested in developing your mental well-being. Okay, and the last book which really blew my mind, which really made me think a lot about different events, is Black Swan. Now mind you, this is not the book on which the movie is based. It's a different book called Black Swan. It's a heavy non-fiction book. Let me tell you what the book is all about. The book is about the writer telling you that whatever events are happening, whatever events happened in history, big events like somebody becoming a superstar, the terrorist attacks on 9/11, whatever big events that happened, they all were Black Swan events. He calls all of these events Black Swan events. Now what do you mean by a Black Swan event? He says that generally when you think of a swan, when you think of that bird, they're generally white, and all of them are white. There is hardly any black swan. And when you see a swan which is black, you really think about the existence of the black swan. You think, why did it exist? How did it come into picture? And it's basically an outlier. It's basically an event which is not predictable. So he talks about all of these black swan events and how we cannot exactly give an explanation of why that event happened. He has talked in the book that almost any human on earth tries to justify and tries to contextualize any event that happens around them. For example, let's say something happened with someone, we try to give justification that yeah, because this might have happened, this happened. Oh, he's here because that happened, because that happened. But in general, when you look at the reality of it, there are thousands, millions of attributes which help form that event. So yeah, this book is a very important conversation. I have not completed the book, but I am almost done 60 to 70% of the book, and this is what I understood from the book. It's taking me some time to process what the author wants to say, because it fundamentally changes how you look at the world, that how you justify anything. It's a new learning for me. I'm not entirely sure what the book telling me about, because sometimes the author talks about his personal story also, which deviates from the main topic of the book. So that is why at least this book is making me think a lot. If you have read it, please let me know in the comment section what you think about the Black Swan events. And yeah, I think those were the 4 books which I wanted to talk about today in this video. I hope you like all of these recommendations. All of these books are very readable. They're not very difficult to read. You will have a great time and they will make you think. I promise you that. And if you have watched the video till here, thank you so much. Please like the video. The algorithm really helps giving out my voice to many other people, which I would really appreciate if you do. And also leave a comment down below and subscribe to my channel. That's all for this video. I'll see you next week in the next video. Bye.